the scenic city of San Francisco, California, where USA Network brings you live coverage of the $250,000 Trans-America Open Tennis Championships from the historic Cow Palace. And tonight, every seat is sold as Jimmy Connors meets John McEnroe for the singles title. The Cow Palace in San Francisco buzzing tonight. Every seat is sold in this historic building just outside the city limits of San Francisco, California. And you know why they are buzzing? They're buzzing because the name Connors and McEnroe appear side by side on the marquee outside the building. They'll meet tonight in a final, and when those two names are side by side, it means tennis excitement. Good evening, everybody, and welcome once again to an exciting night of tennis on the USA Network. Al Troutwig along with Donald Dell. And Donald, there isn't a whole lot to be said about these two players because when they meet, it just means drama on the court.
Well, Al, it's very exciting for us to be broadcasting this match on USA because the last time these two fellows met was in the finals of Wimbledon. Jimmy Connors won that match in 5 long sets, being down 2-1. He had to win the 4th set in a tiebreaker and the 5th set 6-4 to win that championship. They've played 19 times. Connors leads 11-8 in the head-to-heads. And I look for a great match tonight for 2 reasons. First, John trying to reestablish himself is serving and moving awfully well this week. The key to his game is movement and the first service. Jimmy Connors, on the other hand, tremendous return of serve. That's his weapon, and I'd like to see how Connors competes against McEnroe tonight. The secret to Connors is the intangible competitive juices that he portrays in these big matches, and he gets up high. So let's see what happens tonight. It should be a great final.
Let's get some thoughts from the Bear, Barry McKay.
All right, Al. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm at courtside, and this place is buzzing. It's electric tonight. It was 12 years ago at Berkeley, at the Berkeley Tennis Club, that Rod Laver played Ken Rosewall. Laver was seeded 1, Rosewall was seeded 2. Laver beat him, and he won the tournament. That was a long time ago, so a lot of people in San Francisco tonight are really excited about the 1 and 2 seeds playing here. And this year it's even more exciting because these guys are great rivals. McEnroe played tremendous tennis last night. He's won this tournament twice. Connors won it 10 years ago. We're in for a big night tonight. Back to you, Al.
Of course, John McEnroe was #1 until the U.S. Open at Flushing Meadow. Connors changed that. He's #1 now, and John McEnroe is #3, and that bothers John a great deal. Some huge cheers that just went up through the cavernous Cow Palace in San Francisco because the San Francisco Giants are leading the Los Angeles Dodgers. And there will be more cheers tonight as John McEnroe meets Jimmy Connors. Two very exciting players, Donald. Do you have any idea what type of match it'll be?
Well, I think first of all it'll be an extremely competitive match. It will not be one-sided. Both very evenly balanced players. Jimmy Connors there on your left. I also think that the strength of McEnroe, as we said at the opening, is his first serve and his quickness. He's moving very well this week. He doesn't seem to be bothered by any injuries. His ankle, for example, is quite fit, and you can see it in his movement. Connors, on the other hand, I think was a little sluggish against Mayer in the semifinals. Didn't really show me what he can do. And let's take a look at Connors here and see his major weapon, which is that two-handed backhand that American tennis fans have watched for 10 long years as he's dominated the game from 73 to 82. Notice how he leans with his left foot. He lifts at the last moment and carries through with a very high follow-through, pushes off on that right foot, back in the center of the court. But he has tremendous eye-hand coordination and a great lean. There, in my judgment, is one of the great young talents of the game, maybe ever. Arthur Ashe, the captain of the Davis Cup team, feels John McEnroe is the most talented player to have ever played this game, as he has watched for many years. McEnroe will have his work cut out tonight, and we shall see, Al, if McEnroe's first serve can blunt the return of serve of Jimmy Connors. Let's watch it right here. This is the left-handed weapon that you hear so much about. The lefty service, he leans into it. He had a little slice there, pushes off very quickly into the net, and McEnroe must come in quickly against Connors. Turns so well, keeping the ball low. Watch how he sets up there for the little half volley. He uses that left-handed on the racket like a toothpick. Tremendous wrist action. Notice how he closes quickly here. He's well into the net, tries a little drop volley, and notice how his weight keeps coming forward, all the time attacking. That is John Patrick McEnroe. He is, as you said, #3 in the world, and he's hurting because his pride is offended. He believes he's the best player, and he'd like to prove it again tonight. So we shall see.
Jimmy Connors, 5'10", 30 years old, left-handed player, currently living in Miami Beach, Florida. will be moving to Los Angeles and hails from Belleville, Illinois, currently ranked #1 in the world. John McEnroe, who just received a mixture of cheers and boos, is 5'11" and 23 years old. It's hard to believe he's only 23. Left-handed from Douglaston, New York, originally from Wiesbaden, West Germany. And indeed, last night, he had the look of a man with a mission. His first serve didn't fail him last night against Elliot Telcher, that's for sure.
Well, it's very, very interesting, Al. The tremendous roar you're hearing right now is for the introduction of Jimmy Connors. And when these two players walked on the court about 3 minutes ago, there was an explosion in this crowd cheering both of them, because I know Barry McKay has waited 12 long years to get his #1 and 2 seeds through to the finals. That's a rarity in men's tennis. And, of course, when it's the #1 and 2 players in the world of tennis, Connors and McEnroe today, that is quite an achievement.
Barry McKay is the tournament director here at the Trans-America Open, so thereby his interest. Jimmy Connors has defeated John McEnroe 5 of 7 times that they've met in the finals of a tournament. That is a very good success ratio. Overall, they have met 19 times. Connors has prevailed 11 of those times. And in 1982, of the 4 times they've met, they've each won 12. And if you remember back to the Benson and Hedges final last year, which you had the benefit of seeing on the Best of USA throughout the summer, you'll remember that these two players in that final had a very exciting, electrifying, often tumultuous match, which was very, very exciting to see more than once.
Well, that was five long sets. Connors led, was behind rather, trailed 2 sets to love and still won the match. Al, we should explain to our viewers as they're warming up here, the rules say a 5-minute warm-up. During the course of the warm-up, normally as they walk out before hitting the first ball, they spin the racket to see who will serve first. And the player who wins the toss of the racket has an election to make. He does not have to serve first. He can elect to take either the side, depending on if there was sun, which there's not indoors, or he can serve or receive. So he's got 3 choices. Or he can make a 4th choice and say, it's the other guy's choice. He can force the other guy. Like the bettors in football, you can pick your team. But anyway, McEnroe won the toss and elected to receive, which tells you 2 things. #1, he's not worried about Jimmy Connors' first serve. He thinks he can attack it. He thinks he can start quickly against the serve. And #2, McEnroe wants to serve the second time around. He wants to warm up a little bit. It's a big match. There's a lot of nervous tension out there. He's a little tight, and he doesn't want to serve the first game. So he is elected to receive. Connors will serve.
Barry McKay joined this conversation.
All right, Al, it was really cute down here because when Frank Hammond threw that coin up, John and Jimmy were very close. John said, I'll receive. And Jimmy looked over at him and said, are you sure about that? I'm going to give you 5 seconds to change your mind. And they both, really, it was amazing. They both looked in a big smile and everything. So I think we're off to some good atmosphere here tonight. Back to you,
Barry. Donald, do you think perhaps John wants to warm up for a game before he gets his serve going?
Absolutely. That's exactly why he's elected to receive. If you notice there, he's kept his sweatsuit on. Jimmy has a short-sleeve sweater on, but John has his Davis Cup tracksuit, the top part of it on. He likes to remind everybody in America that he believes in representing America in Davis Cup play, and he deserves a tremendous amount of credit for that because John has represented America every time in Davis Cup play the last 4 years. He leaves tomorrow night for Australia, where Captain Arthur Ashe will be with his 4-man team to play the Australians next weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in Perth. And John and Peter Fleming will be leaving. They can't get out tonight. It's too late, so they'll have to leave tomorrow. They won't get there till Wednesday, and he's got to play on Friday.
This, of course, one of the more enjoyable ways to watch tennis. And here at the Cow Palace, many folks are doing that. So John McEnroe will be leaving tomorrow for Australia, but he's got a mission tonight. Frank Hammond, a well-known figure in tennis, will be the umpire in the chair from New York, New York. John McEnroe and Jimmy Connors. And, of course, you would expect that all the lines people around the court, including Mr. Hammond, will be on their toes tonight. It has been a year for reflection, I would think, for John McEnroe, Donald, having won only 1 tournament and seeing his ranking at the top fall to the wayside. What are the type of things in your conversations with John that are going through his mind?
Well, I think John is very, very concerned about the public perception of him. He would like to be thought of as a great competitor, as a great champion, not as a spoiled brat, and he's trying very hard to convey and work at a better image. He's bothered by many of the press reports. You mentioned one last night that really bothers him when the guy in Sports Illustrated writes, well, if he was a right-handed player, he would just be an average touring pro. That's absolutely nonsense. The writer, Curry Kirkpatrick, knows better than that. He's just trying to sell copies, and he takes a cheap shot. Because Jimmy Connors well knows that John McEnroe, right-handed or left-handed, has won the U.S. Open 3 times. He's been in the Wimbledon finals 3 years running. He's won it once. He beat Borg in 5 sets after being down 2-1. That he's an average player where he's a right-hander is really absurd. First of all, he's not a right-hander. He's a left-hander. So let's stop trying to sell copy and let's talk, really about reality, which is the way these guys play. And in particular, McEnroe is very disturbed by that article.
Well, you said last night McEnroe will be back, and tonight would be a very good testing ground for him to show everybody that when he goes up against the #1 player who replaced him, Jimmy Connors, he can do a job.
And Jimmy Connors raced through Tim Gullickson, 7-6, 6-2 in the first round. Then Vince Van Patten, the son of the actor, Dick Van Patten, 6-2, 6-1. Jimmy Arias from Buffalo in straight sets. And last night, Sandy Mayer in a long 3-set, 4-6, 6-2, 6-1 match. Now let's go down to the court, the first point of this match.
Connors to serve. McEnroe establishing himself early at the net, and here's how he got to the finals.
He beat Marcel Strode in straight sets, Richard Lewis, Johan Creek by the incredible scores of 1 and 2, and last night he dethroned the defending champion Elliot Telcher 6-3, 6-4. Rather handedly, but it was a very well-played match because McEnroe really performed well.
Opening game of the singles final. McEnroe's magic wand looks pretty sharp right now.
And notice what he's done on the first 2 points, Al. He's attacked. Whenever he gets a short ball, he's coming in. He's going to beat Connors at the net and not try to out-rally him from the baseline. Let's see if he can do it.
Triple break point for McEnroe. And so we begin what should be some pretty exciting stuff from the Cow Palace in San Francisco. McEnroe 1-love in the opening set. Connors, McEnroe, the Trans-America Open singles final. McEnroe at service break to start things off, and will now show us his stuff, 1-love.
And again, Connors nets that forehand. He made 2 unforced errors in the first game and now another one at the opening part of the second game. Clearly, McEnroe will try to test the forehand of Connors whenever he can choose his side. That two-handed backhand of Connors you don't want to test. This is proven too good, too long.
Donald, in the U.S. Open, since so many people saw it, and since Jimmy Connors' strategy in that match was so obvious and self-admitted, and that he came to the net against Yvonne Lendl consistently and said, if he passes me, but he's going to have to get it by me. Can he do the same thing against John?
I don't think so, because McEnroe is a different kind of player. Lendl stayed on the baseline and he was happy to rally. Right there, McEnroe attack on a second serve. Now, Lendl never comes in on a second serve, so I don't think he's going to have the chance to. Here's Jimmy in slow motion. Look at that two-handed backhand, jumps at it. He actually missed that ball. He's a little bit angry with himself. Very hard for Connors to set the pace against McEnroe because McEnroe will be the aggressor the whole match. He will be the counterpuncher trying to pass him.
30-15. Frank Hammond belting it out in his baritone sound. We're playing on a Supreme Court, a vinyl-like surface, indoors at the Cow Palace in San Francisco.
One game to love. McEnroe has broken at the beginning of the match. Oh, a little roll forehand. All right, now let's watch Connors, because we said he's going to be attacking the forehand of Connors, but watch what happens right here. Change of pace. Completely caught McEnroe in close. Beautiful strategy there by Jimmy.
And the first really strong point for him.
30 all. John's a little bit busted because the first volley, he didn't do anything with the ball. He had a shot at it, and he just played it back safely. And Connors really hurts him with that second passing shot. Great serve. And that's what I mean by a weapon. You're down 30-40, break point, and let's watch it again. The best serve in the game when he's on. Completely caught Jimmy leaning to his left. John crossed him up. Tremendous firepower with that first ball if it's going in. Break point, he serves an ace. First of the match. Now here is where Jimmy Connors, with that tremendous return of serve, will step in and force the issue.
Brilliant shot by Connors.
And you see right here, Connors will get just a slight opening for a second. Now watch. He comes in, fakes cross court, hits inside out down the line. McEnroe watches it, and it hit right on the inside of that line. Break point to Connors. Second chance he's had this game. And this is right here, Al, where McEnroe hurts. The second ball to Connors' backhand. He's in trouble. Connors will take his chance. He lines it up, and he'll go for it. Difference off that second serve. Connors has broken back, and we're at 1-all. First set.
Very prophetic, Mr. Dell.
1-all.
We should point out that there are some empty seats in the Cow Palace. That is because the sight lines on those seats is so bad that they are not sold. All the seats that were to be sold are sold. You could not buy a seat tonight if you wanted one.
That shows you that even Barry McKay, the tournament director here, has a little heart. He doesn't sell those seats that you can't see a lick.
Thanks, Donald. I'll tell you what, this is a huge building, and we have sold every available seat that you can see this match from. But remember, this is a rodeo building.
We're at 1-all. First set.
Connors now with his victory last night. 11 straight matches and 37 of his last 39. And enjoying every minute of it.
It's good. And that's long. And there is an example of the tremendous height that you can use in this building. It's a very unusual building, and We talked about it yesterday. Barry McKay, talk about that ceiling.
Donald, you know, the players yell about some things in here, the noise, the lights, and all that kind of stuff, but you cannot hit a lob like that in any other building in the United States. This thing's about 100 feet high. It's sensational. So it recreates outdoor play.
And Barry McKay should know he's played in every indoor building in America as a pro, playing for the Jacksonville years ago.
Another high one.
It's wide, just wide. And McEnroe doesn't like that call.
15-13.
Let's see it again if we can watch the overhead. Jimmy bounces it smartly. Sets up. It's good depth. John's there with the forehand. And right there they call the ball out. And McEnroe's a little bit annoyed. Connors bouncing that ball. 15-30. He takes a lot of time setting up when he wants to control the rhythm of the match. He can bounce that ball 18, 19 times if he wants, and it really distracts your opponent.
30-all.
All right, Jimmy Connors here. Let's see that forehand approach shot of his that I think is his only weakness in tennis. Gets that forehand around. Now he comes in there. He rolls the ball. That's unusual. He has a Western grip. Normally he chips under it and shovels it with no topspin. There he rolled it.
Back live, Connors serving 30-40 and 1-all.
Great first serve. And there is the Connors you talked about, Al. He hit the first serve and came in behind it. He's first time in the match he served and volleyed on that break point.
So he saves break point, and we're at deuce.
Advantage, McEnroe.
Third break point for John Patrick McEnroe. And this is be a very significant point because he'd have broken him twice in a row. He's lost the serve back, and they're at 1-all. They'd like to get that back again. The groan you hear is Jimmy Connors hitting that first serve. Look at that Jimmy Connors backhand. He whips it that time. He can hit it about 7 different ways. And there he rolls it more. Notice he always runs with the forehand grip because he's more comfortable changing to the backhand side, more confident. So he keeps the forehand grip when he's moving side to side.
Jimmy used his full 30 seconds that time and kept John McEnroe waiting a little bit.
Deuce for the fourth time.
Advantage, McEnroe.
Unforced error is quite a significant Connors 6 on the forehand. McEnroe 0. That is a surprise for so early in the match. We've only played 2 games. We're in the third. Fifth deuce of the game. Jimmy Connors would like to work his way out of this one. Takes plenty of time, boy. He's in no hurry. Good. Connors is objecting to that call. All right, here comes the replay. Jimmy with the scoop backhand. Quickly, McEnroe down the line. Connors pops it up. And there John both half volleys it and waits for the call. He won the point both ways.
Some kind of spin on that shot. Breakpoint McEnroe again. Interestingly, the crowd cheered that call.
And this is the longest game of the match, by far. Another chance for John. Break point. His third of the game. And this will be interesting. Will he attack the second serve of Connors and come in? He certainly will step in, but whether he'll come in or not will be determined by the depth of the second serve of Jimmy.
Frustration from McEnroe, slamming his racket to the Supreme Court surface and having it bounce right back up in his hand because he has allowed Connors back in for the 6th deuce. Opening set of the singles final, $40,000 to the winner, the 1982 Trans-America Open. They've met 4 times in 1982, twice on grass, twice indoors. McEnroe winning both of the meetings indoors at the Volvo Masters in New York and at the U.S. Pro Indoor in Philadelphia.
Now let's watch this particular backhand of McEnroe because it's what Barry McKay talked about yesterday. Watch this. He rolls the backhand. Most lefties have to slice it. And there is what distinguishes McEnroe from, let's say, a great left-hander like Rod Laver. He can go either way, the chip, the slice, or the roll. And there he broke the ball with the top spin.
Donald, he gets to the ball very quickly. That's the key thing. If you watch, he's there ready for the shot. That's why he does it so well.
He sets up, and he can hit through the ball when he has time like that. Good point, Barry.
Yep, it's that anticipation, that extra step that does it for him.
Service break. Jimmy Connors visibly upset. And it is McEnroe leading in the opening set, 2-1. No, they didn't buy him at the concession stand. They brought him along. Picnic lunches in San Francisco, courtside at the Cow Palace.
15 seconds.
Almost want to go down and join them, don't you, Donald?
Yeah, they're having a ball.
There, you see it. McEnroe with 2 service breaks. Connors with a service break. And it is 2-1 McEnroe. Opening set of the singles final. McEnroe trying to cash a championship check for the first time since January.
Now, at this point in the USA Network live telecast just 2 weeks ago, there was a power failure at the USA Network headquarters in Alpine, New Jersey, causing the network to lose the 4 points, the first 4 points of this fourth game. So that's why your screen has jumped here from the first serve of the first point to McEnroe serving at 30-all. So our apologies for the missing 4 points. They just never were recorded because of that power failure.
(40-30). McEnroe serving 2-1.
Ace.
Game McEnroe.
And McEnroe now leads 3 games to 1.
McEnroe leads 3 games to 1.
Bringing this match to you in Mexico, compliments of Televisa. Down. Later on this week, we'll be bringing you this match on tape delay on station KQED here in San Francisco. Blacked out tonight.
I would say that linesman got his point across.
And that was a very good baseline rally by both players. McEnroe equal to the task, keeping with Connors. Don McEnroe showing a lot of flexibility. And Connors in trouble. He can't go down 2 breaks here. The first set's gone. Love 30. And you can see by the looks on their this crowd is ecstatic at the electrifying play there by Connors. Hit a drop volley off a tremendous play.
Let me tell you something, you guys. From down here, these guys are hitting the ball as hard as I've ever seen both of them hit it. That last point was unbelievable. The pace is really quick.
15-30. Connors still trails. 1-3.
I just didn't have the legs. Connor serving 1-3. Off to a slow start. Interestingly enough, the last 4 times that Connors defeated McEnroe, he lost the first set in 3 of those victories. So he has been able to get off to a slow start against McEnroe and then come back to win.
But remember, indoors, McEnroe has dominated the series. Outdoors or on grass, Connors has won more than not, winning both at Queens and Wimbledon back-to-back this year on grass. McEnroe winning this year at the Volvo Masters round robin and the Philadelphia final of the National Indoors. The U.S. Pro. that was a surprise. Connors did not make a move for it.
13-14.
Break point again.
Hey, McEnroe.
Uh-oh. And Connors in real trouble now, down 1-4, Al. 2 service breaks. And he has yet to win his serve this match.
Back live at the Cow Palace in San Francisco. McEnroe to serve, leading 4-1 first set.
Boy, McEnroe is just unbeatable right now. Not making any unforced errors. Keeping tremendous pressure on Connors on his serve. I don't believe that shot. McEnroe tries a drop shot here from the middle of the court. Nobody can understand it here. It's a beautiful lob by Connors. Now watch McEnroe's back to the net, plays another lob. It's a good one. Jimmy, with the skyhook, very carefully saves it. Look at John, tries a drop shot there. Jimmy could have hit that ball anywhere.
Well, you can see how upset John was with him immediately when he hit it.
Football called.
Barry McKay, you've watched these two all week. How is their demeanor tonight compared to the other matches they've played?
I tell you, these guys are very relaxed tonight. When they walked out on the court, they were smiling. The toying toss was very, interesting because they sort of smiled at each other. And all of a sudden, I see a total different atmosphere between Connors and McEnroe than what we saw. Donna, you remember Wembley when they almost came to blows? I mean, this is a totally different atmosphere out here than it was a year ago.
You saw that match on USA at Wembley. And you'll see it again in 1982.
Great return by Connors. The two-hander cross court, that's his best shot.
14-13.
And so Jimmy Connors continues to compete. He is not conceding this set as he trades ground strokes from the baseline. He is very comfortable if he can keep McEnroe back. Surprised that John didn't serve him coming in more. And here's a great camera angle. You see how fast that serve's coming in to return. Oh. Connors with the topspin roll covers it beautifully here. Watch the return and watch his movement. Now he comes right in, anticipates perfectly, moves towards the net, and rolls it by McEnroe. Great point for Connors.
wait until the point's over. Thank you.
Look at that great angle here for the first serve. Fault. The linesman you see there is Michael Liu. He's down low on this court.
Advantage McEnroe.
Again, McEnroe on the serve is coming in on everything, saying to Connors, pass me if you can, but he's going to keep the pressure on him. And remember, Jimmy Connors to win his serve in this match. 4-1, point for 5-1 to McEnroe. Now watch Connors here, because you're going to see tremendous follow-up by the second shot. He hits a good return. Now watch, John pops it up. Jimmy comes in quickly, catches it on the fly. That is marvelous anticipation. Connors, he reads that first return, knows he's going to put him in trouble, steps in for the second kill.
There's no way you could tell where that shot was either.
We're back to deuce. That's a careless error by Jimmy.
Advantage McEnroe.
Connors has not found his length or depth yet in this match. Still looking for that feel. Ace. Number 3 for John McEnroe. And what a put on.
5 games to 1.
He moves out in front.
Well, Donald, do you let this set slide by and start anew in the second set?
Well, Connors has got a problem, because if he loses serve here, really hurts his confidence further, and John starts the second set with his own serve. So I believe that Jimmy will try like crazy to win this game, to make McEnroe serve out the set, and then he can start the second set with his own serve.
He hasn't held serve once yet.
Well, McEnroe is in the zone now, as they say. He's flicking winners all over the court. Now watch this left arm of John McEnroe. Connors there with good depth on McEnroe. Watch this. Boom. Jimmy doesn't even move for it. That ball was 6 inches from either side there. Outright winner. Now there he's lucky. That ball hit the net and jumped over Jimmy's racket. Very lucky.
Up 13.
We'll see it close here. Connors with the spin. Pretty good depth. He's right there for the volley. Look at it roll over the net and over his racket.
Love 14.
Connors is really struggling now to find some form. He's not happy at all about losing this game at love 40, because McEnroe will come around. It's set point. McEnroe with 3 service breaks wins the set 6-1.
And he will be serving to begin set number 2. Can Jimmy Connors turn it around? Stay tuned on USA Coast to Coast. Connors making his way back out onto the court. The crowd giving their encouragement. As we begin set number 2 of the singles final of the 1982 Trans-America Open.
And there you see Jimmy Connors rubbing his gums because he had some oral surgery last week in Los Angeles, and he had some stitches removed out of his mouth this week.
15 left.
But that was the power of first serve right there. The difference in the match so far has been McEnroe's ability to serve first serves all night long.
Eighth Volvo Grand Prix tournament for McEnroe. The 16th for Jimmy Connors. Whoops.
Bad toss there by John. He wisely catches it. Gets another toss. Second ball.
That'll go out. That return by Connors
15-all.
flirted with the line, indeed. McEnroe thinks it was long. Barry McKay?
John thought it was long. From here, it looked like it might have been about 6 inches past that baseline, and there was no call. Frank Ham is not going to let him get away with anything tonight, but to me, it looked like it was long.
A perfectly fine way to make yourself forget of that call.
Exactly. McEnroe says, I don't care about that. I'll just hit a great first serve and a good volley. 30-15. And another great first serve, swinging Jimmy wide. Remember when McEnroe serves into that backhand court, as the lefty, he serves into the left-handed side of Connors, which is really a big advantage because he's serving to Connors' forehand.
Game McEnroe.
John McEnroe has hit 3 booming first serves now to go up 1-love as he really continues, Al, to dominate Connors with that first service weapon.
McEnroe has now won 6 straight games en route to his first set win, and his lead now in the second set, 1-0. First set numbers, I would imagine, will heavily favor Johnny Mac.
Well, it's a surprise. McEnroe only 51%, Connors 75%, but Jimmy spins his first ball in. He doesn't put too much on it.
Right now.
The winners are 8-6.
Thank you.
For winners to McEnroe, 14-1 errors. There is the difference in the match. Al, that's a shock. 14-1 errors by Connors over McEnroe.
Faces in the crowd, former basketball great Bill Walton. Love to find out if his comeback plans are in order. He went to UCLA, and so did Jimmy Connors. John McEnroe spent some time at Stanford. As a matter of fact, as we'll also be bringing you the doubles final tonight, all 6 finalists went to Pac-10 schools. Continuing on that thought, the last time anyone from the Big Ten won the NCAA singles title, it was our own Barry McKay.
It was pre-war, World War II.
No, it wasn't.
If I can talk to you guys, it was 57, a few years ago. A little before Dell's time.
Love 15.
I don't want to say anything, Barry, but I was 1 year old.
Thanks, Al. Sure nice to have you in San Francisco. I hope you come back one of these years.
Connors serving love 1, second set. Jimmy Jimmy badly off balance on that return.
Love 13.
Connors is in real trouble here. He just cannot get that first serve in where he's hurting you.
You'll see their efforts in the newspapers tomorrow morning. Should have clarified the Big Ten victory by Mike Leach. 1982 was the first time in the Big Ten winner's circle since Barry McKay.
Oh boy, McEnroe is rolling.
Love 14.
Tennis players have a phrase for this. He's in the zone. And that means he's unconscious, hitting winner after winner, loose as a goose. Triple break point. And Connors is really struggling to stay on the court. That ball took a strange bounce and
15,
scooted off the
14.
racket of McEnroe. Connors working his way to 30-40.
13, 14.
He'd love to get to the haven of deuce. Which, when a server gets deuce, he knows he's got a much better chance of winning the game because the receiver has to win 2 points in a row to break. And that's difficult to do on an indoor court. 30-40.
First service.
Crowd thought otherwise.
McEnroe, New Orleans, please.
And so John has quickly wrapped up an early break here. And Jimmy Connors has lost
McEnroe leads 2 games to love.
5th consecutive time.
Please sit down in the back. This isn't a change game.
I
Please.
can't tell you how surprised I am that we're seeing what we're seeing.
Thank you for your cooperation. Mr. McEnroe serving with New Orleans.
I'm sure you heard new balls, McEnroe to serve. 2-love, second set.
$15
Aaron Barnes, the center service linesman, called it good. Ace number 5. Jimmy Connors trying to get set. Good return. And he reads that serve of McEnroe's well. He's his best return in the game. John has really mixed up his first serve tonight. Side to side, occasionally going down the center. And once again, John McEnroe closing so quickly after the first big delivery. Just punches that volley into the open court. He is all over Connors, swarming him with his aggressiveness. Oh boy, what a shot. Ball just drops in.
40-15.
McEnroe is certainly making a strong statement with his performance tonight. Doubles final coming up after this.
The Davis and Dunk versus Buning and Teacher in the men's doubles.
That's good.
40-13.
Let's see if we can watch it here. McEnroe is disputing this call. First volley is short. Jimmy sets it up nicely. There's cross court right there. Looks on the line from here.
Certainly McEnroe and Frank Hammond in the chair have had these discussions before.
Yeah. Well, Frank's there only to, if he sees a clear error. There's Frank Hammond. He can't call that ball out unless it's way out, because he knows what he's doing. He knows what the rule is, and the chair umpire gets into it only if it's a clear error. This crowd now, you'll see the overhead by McEnroe. Connors guesses perfectly, fields it, keeps McEnroe back. Here comes Jimmy. Another lob. Connors lets it go wisely as it travels well out.
This crowd is cheering wildly for Connors now. And we're at deuce. Two loving games.
First time since Wimbledon. These two have played each other. John Wong on the service line has called it out.
I have to admit, John is going to great lengths, Donald, to prevent an outburst, a verbal one at best.
Well, one of the problems, though, he's being egged on now by the crowd. They're yelling at him every point when it's a close dispute, and John's trying to control himself and doing a pretty good job so far. Certainly is controlling this match. Let's see that second ball. Jimmy mishits it badly. Thought it might have been long. John Wong on the line. Called it good. Advantage to point for 3-love. Second set. Ace. Number 6.
Well, Jimmy can't do very much when he can't return it. McEnroe aces for the 6th time in the match and leads in the second set, having already put the first one away, 3-love. For our local affiliates, we'll pause now on USA.
This is Channel 9, KQED San Francisco, your Northern California tennis station, for the 13th or 14th year now, bringing you coverage of our own local stop on the Volvo Grand Prix, the Trans-America Open, played September the 26th, the night of Sunday, September the 26th, at the Cow Palace. These finals were played, and stay with us after McEnroe and Connors for complete coverage of the doubles final, featuring our local University of California team, the former All-Americans over at Berkeley, Marty Davis and Chris Dunk, taking on Fritz Buning and Teacher. That'll be coming up as soon as the McEnroe-Connors match ends. And, of course, our thanks to the USA Network, ProServe Television, for making this coverage available to KQED, and a great big thank you also, as always, to Barry McKay, Iris Roth, Francis Varnhagen, Joey Roth, and all the great staff and volunteers who put this tournament on every year, and to Bill McClave, Jim Lockhart, Dick Olson, and all the gang over at Transamerica for helping provide this coverage to KQED and for their support throughout the years. Incidentally, Transamerica, for the 4th consecutive year, will be underwriting our live telecast of the Sing It Yourself Messiah in early December. Incidentally, of course, the USA Network coverage does have commercials in it. The USA Network is a commercial entity. We have edited out those commercials for KQED's broadcast. That's why the action skips on a changeover from the end of one game to the start of another. More tennis coming up on KQED. Al and Donald mentioned a few minutes ago that the USA would be doing the tournament from Wembley Arena in London again, and we'll have the singles and doubles final of the Benson and Hedges tournament, a tournament that is expected to have John McEnroe and Jimmy Connors in it. From London, we'll have that for you on Saturday, December the 4th. And coming up on Saturday, November the 6th, beginning at 10:30, the singles and doubles finals of the $300,000 Seiko World Super Tennis Tournament from Yoyogi National Stadium in Tokyo. McEnroe, Connors, Vitas Gerulaitis, Gene Mayer, Peter McNamara, Yannick Noah, Johan Kriek, all expected to compete in that event. And, of course, this is the fall premiere week here on Channel 9. Lots of great programs from the Public Broadcasting Service that we'll tell you about a little bit later. And on Monday night, a very special local production that Bill Trieste is going to tell you all about right now.
Monday night at 9:30, Channel 9 presents Little Italy, a KQED-produced documentary on the history and current status of San Francisco's famed Italian community, North Beach.
San Francisco and Italians seem to go hand in hand. It's hard to imagine one without the other.
The St. Honoré combines all the aspects of the pastry shop. It has the Napoleon crust, it has the chocolate, the custard, the whipped cream, the sponge, the rum, and the little cream puffs, and the cherries. Nothing to it. What makes it special are the ingredients.
But now in San Francisco, you got the best pasta. Many people who come from New York spoke to me, told me this, Gino, this, in New York, the pasta not is so good for similar San Francisco. What is that? It's very easy. San Francisco got a special water. You got a sample because you make a sour bread, it's fantastic. A flour, a pasta is a similar way. It's the water.
Fred Lacoste narrates Little Italy, a KQED production about San Francisco's North Beach district, Monday night at 9:30, following Mark Twain's The Mysterious Stranger. It's TV worth watching here on KQED, Channel 9, San Francisco.
Connors was certainly ready to begin play. He waited from McEnroe at the baseline and now serves a love 3.
And Jimmy Connors is serving, coming in on that last point. He realizes he has yet to win his serve in this entire match. What a strange feeling for a guy who's dominated the game this year in '82, winner of the U.S. Open 2 weeks ago. Here he comes.
And the crowd, Donald, having been so well behaved in all the matches we've seen so far, is getting a little rowdy.
Well, they're trying to egg on Connors to get his competitiveness flowing.
Connors 1 point away from holding serve for the first time in the match. Al Troutwig, Donald Dell upstairs. Barry McKay along with us courtside.
So there it is, Jimmy Connors breaking the ice and finally holding his serve. But remember, he's down a break already in this set.
McEnroe leads 3-1.
And Connors will make a stand right here if he can break back. McEnroe continuing to roll as he attacks with his big serve. He loves the indoor, favors that lefty serve. The ball slices low off this court. Really skids low. He loves it.
First service. Please don't yell out in the middle. I appreciate it very much. Thank you.
McEnroe, 3 game points for 4-1. He won the first set 6-1.
Game McEnroe.
So John McEnroe now leads 4-1. A strong performance by John McEnroe here in front of a sellout crowd at the Cow Palace in San Francisco. McEnroe winning the first set 6-1. McEnroe leading in the second set 4-1.
Connors, however, did hold his serve for the first time in this match. The last time around, he broke McEnroe in the first set when he lost at 6-1. Let's see this rally again from the baseline. And there John is a little long, about 2 inches. And Connors, trailing 1-4 here, is at 15 love. The reflexes there by McEnroe. He let that ball go over the baseline. He could have hit it.
Donald, I've been waiting and waiting for a glimpse of Jimmy Connors' awakening, but it has really not come to pass.
Well, he hasn't served well, but McEnroe has really been devastating with his power and his volume off that first serve. He hadn't let Connors into the match at all. There have been no bad patches in John's attack. And there you see McEnroe, and the pattern of this second set was right there. He got the little short ball from Jimmy, and he attacks and hits the volley for a winner. John McEnroe has won this match so far at the net.
Jimmy Connors has held serve but once. That was in the second set.
And this right here, Al, is like double match point for McEnroe, because if Jimmy loses this point, he goes down 5-1 and he's out of the match. This is a gigantic point for James Scott Connors. And there he comes into the net wisely.
Saved one.
30-14.
30-40. Al Troutwig, Donald Dell high above the Cow Palace floor. Barry McKay is at courtside.
With a diving, lunging shot. Well, let's see it again, because McEnroe thought one of these balls was out right there. He thought the ball was wide. He saves it, however. Here comes Connors. Good approach to the corner. Look at that lunging, diving save by Jimmy Connors. We're deuce. And Connors has saved 2 virtual match points as he trails 1-4. Down a set. Crowd will explode if he can hold serve here.
Advantage, Connors.
John still giving it to the linesman for missing the call before this one.
Linesman Tom Barnes there is taking a little verbal abuse. Wonder if a linesman could ever bring lawsuit against a player for verbal abuse. That'll happen one day.
If you don't know the answer to that question, nobody does.
And so Jimmy Connors has gotten out of a tremendous hole. And this crowd is responding. He was down 15-40. He won 4 points in a row. And he's still alive.
McEnroe leads 4 games to 2.
But Connors still has a lot more work to do. Once again, this is the singles final of the 1982 Transamerica Open Tennis Championships, live from the Cow Palace in San Francisco.
Now McEnroe there really mishit that volley off a good return by Jimmy, and the ball dropped in for a winner. The drop volley. I don't think he meant it that sharply. 15-love. Connors didn't like that service call.
McEnroe serving, 4-2, second set. First set is his 6-1.
McEnroe leads 5 games to 2.
Bad news for Connors, though. McEnroe leads 5-2 in the second set. The 1982 Trans-America Open. And John McEnroe is 1 game away from the match.
Out. 15 left.
We've had verbal volleys back and forth, Donald, about what John's new game plan is, what it means to him to not be number one, but certainly it seems that not being number one has given all kinds of new life and a new attitude. But back comes Connors, at least for now.
13 left.
Jimmy Connors has changed his whole style of play in the last 3 times he served. He's serving and coming in on every first serve. Try and take away some of the control and power of McEnroe. He's been all over Jimmy. Remember, although Connors trails 2-5, there's only 1 break of serve here in the second set that McEnroe has wrapped up. He's got to serve out the match next time around. Unless he breaks serve right here.
McEnroe trying to win for the first time since the U.S. Pro Indoor in January. Even if Connors wins this, he'll have to face the serve of McEnroe, and he's only been able to break John's serve but once.
And so Jimmy Connors does hold serve for only the 3rd time in the match. Out of 9 serving games, Connors has held only 3.
5 games to 3.
And right here we will find out the moment of truth for Jimmy Connors. He must break serve or he's out of the title.
5 leads.
John McEnroe won his first Volvo Grand Prix tournament right here in '78. Followed it with a win again here in '79, looking for his 3rd Trans-America title.
There was a brilliant scramble by Connors. He recovered nicely off the return. Let's watch his movement here. McEnroe, pretty good second serve. Connors with a good return. John with an angle volley. Look at Jimmy scrambling, scrapping. Hits the winner down the line. Love 15. Well, you can't hit a better first serve than that. Jimmy barely touches it with his racket.
15 all.
And looking at a statistician evaluator, to 7 aces, McEnroe is serving 13% aces in this match, which is hard to believe. Connors has no aces so far. 30-15, 2 points for match for McEnroe. And here it is, the moment of truth, 40-15. Double match point. And Mac is back.
Hasn't been away for very long, has he?
Thank you.
But he will love to savor the flavor of winning this particular title. He likes San Francisco. He went to Stanford. And he likes beating Jimmy Connors, who has just won the U.S. Open. It's good. So Connors saves him. He's not stopping trying.
What a great return of serve.
14-13.
And it was a blistering first serve from McEnroe. It is still championship point, however.
Crowd is now standing on its feet in various places behind the court, cheering Connors on. Watch this return. He guesses perfectly and nails the forehand. Down the line with another one. And he is back to deuce.
Connors was in a corner and he shot his way out of there.
McEnroe has asked our cameraman to move out of way. And there you see what the difference has been. McEnroe, with the first ball, races into the net for that volley. He's a sprinter. As he closes so fast, he's a foot from the net. Third match point. And it just misses that line. Connors is still alive by about a quarter of an inch. So John McEnroe has dominated Jimmy Connors by the incredible scores of 6-1, 6-3. But they didn't really tell the story, as McEnroe was invincible with that first serve.
McEnroe wins 6-1, 6-3.
And Connors, of course, did not serve well and did not come into the net very often until the second set.
Would you please remain seated for the...
McEnroe obviously not in love with our cameraman at the present time. But it was indeed a devastating performance by the former #1 player in the world and #3. And Jimmy Connors has found that defending his #1 standing in 1982 will not be very easy. Another look at match point.
All right, McEnroe with that slice serve down the center. Connors with a little of that cord John pounds the volley. Jimmy saves it, but it's a short lob, and McEnroe digs in for the kill. Just pounds it into that open court, and it's history. He has won his third title here at the Transamerica Open. 6-1, 6-3, and Jimmy Connors does congratulate him there very heartily, saying, well played. And there he is, John McEnroe, who will leave for Australia and the American Davis Cup team, where he will partner Peter Fleming in the doubles and play both singles for America. And that is a real tribute that he'll get on that plane and fly 15 hours to Australia, where he starts on Friday.
6-1, 6-3, McEnroe over Connors. Let's go downstairs to Barry McKay.
All right, we're ready to present the awards right now, and I would like to now introduce a gentleman who has really supported this tournament for a long time. President and Chief Executive Officer of Transamerica Corporation, Mr. Jim Harvey. Jim.
Thank you, Barry. This is the 6th year that Transamerica has sponsored the Transamerica Open Tennis Tournament. And this is by far the most successful year that we've ever had. And the thanks to that have to go to Barry McKay and Iris Roth and all their staff for this tournament. Jimmy Connors. Jimmy, you won Wimbledon, the U.S. Open, and we're truly proud that you play for the second time here at the Transamerica Open Tennis Tournament. I'd like to present, first of all, to you this exquisite pyramid. This is so valuable, we've actually had people try to climb in our windows to obtain it.
Thank you.
And also a check for $20,000. Congratulations, Jimmy.
Thank you very much. First, I'd like to thank Barry. He's done a great job. He and everybody connected with the tournament. They've put on nothing but a first-class tournament. So thank you, Barry. And to Transamerica for once again being involved and sponsoring the event. I appreciate that. I'm sure players do too. Thank you very much. But a tournament can't be a tournament without you people. And you people came out more this week than you did in the past 10 years, from what I understand. And I appreciate that, to play in front of you, and I'm sure Barry appreciates that. But I've enjoyed playing here very much, and this is not my second time here. You've missed a time, but I do enjoy playing here, and it's most enjoyable for me to come back again next year. Thank you.
John McEnroe. John, as I said, this is our 6th tournament, and John has played in all 6 tournaments. In fact, I believe that this will be your 7th trophy. The reason that is, is that you won the doubles 4 times and the singles twice. And it's with a great honor. This is the 3rd. 3 times. All I can say, you really earned it, and it's with great pleasure that I give you the Transamerica Pyramid, plus a check for $40,000.
Thank you. There's two nice things about winning. One is winning the match, and two is that there's no one left to thank because everyone else has done that. So I'm pretty much finished up here. But thank you. No. I'd like to thank Barry also because he's taken care of me for 6 years now, and that's not easy to do. So. And I'm probably the only one that feels this way, but I just want to thank Jimmy for playing the way he did tonight, because let me finish, because I haven't won a tournament since February, and Jimmy's won the Wimbledon and the Open, and that's enough for 1 year. And finally, I just want to thank everyone that come out. It seems like this new one-court system has helped the players in the tournament too, so I hope it's here to stay and hope to see everyone next year. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Don't go away. Don't go away.
ladies and gentlemen, right at this time we have a tradition at the Transamerica Open. A guy by the name of Bud Collins usually slips in here and asks some questions. So I'm taking his place tonight. I'm going to ask John one quick question. John, you're headed for Australia very quickly. I know a lot of people, including Arthur Ashe, the Davis Cup captain, are very nervous that you're standing right here next to me tonight, because this coming Friday you're going to play against the Aussies in the semifinals. How do you think the match is looking in terms of the U.S. versus Australia?
Well, the first problem is that I'm not going to get there to Wednesday now, so that's not exactly what I had hoped for, but I think that we have a good chance to go all the way again, and hopefully a couple guys are down there practicing, and they'll help me out when I get there.
All right, John. I know everybody here wishes John and the whole team good luck in Australia. John, one more question. You had a tremendous year in 1981, won both the titles that the guy 20 feet to your right won this year. I saw you come in here early in the week, and it seems to me that you played about as well as you played here in 78 and 79 when you won the tournament. How do you spring back after a really disappointing U.S. Open? How do you do that mentally?
Well, that's probably one of the things. I didn't play as well as I would have liked there, and it's a little easier for me to get up for a tournament like this than it is for Jimmy, who just came off winning the event. So I had a pretty good. If I was ever going to beat him again, this would be a good time to start. And if I can ever complete this sentence without making a mistake. No. It's wonderful to be alive.
All right, John. Thanks a million. Good luck down in Australia. Ladies and gentlemen, I now want to bring up a guy who's been up here for 3 years in a row now. He's played some tremendous tennis. He won this tournament back in 1972, beating Roscoe Tanner. A lot of people don't remember that, but he's given us some tremendous moments. I want to ask him very quickly. Jimmy, you had a great week. You ran into a real wildcat tonight, but is it difficult for you, after playing that U.S. Open and having such a great year, to come in here and give it your all, because you really did this week?
No. No, I play, at least I try to play every match like it is the finals of the Open or the finals of Wimbledon, and I think that's where I've had my success over the past couple of years. But to come and to play here, I had last week off and played some tennis and got used to the surroundings here. I was here in plenty of time, and the only thing that happened here was McEnroe played too well for me. But it's never a problem for me to get up for the tennis. The tennis is and the competition is what makes it all worthwhile. So it's never tough to get up for that.
Jimmy, you've had a tremendous year. Tremendous year in 1982. I know a lot of people are saying, what's ahead for Jimmy Connors? You've done it all. You've had a great year. In your mind right now, standing here, what are your goals coming up for 1983?
That's probably one question that I have to sit down and ask myself when I have some time off. It depends really how much I want to play. If I do want to go out and do next year what I did this year to have a chance to win Wimbledon and the Open, if I want to dedicate myself and to continue working at it like that, then it'd be worthwhile. If not, then it'd be better for me to cut down a little bit and maybe work at some other things. But I enjoy the tennis too much, and I enjoy the competition, and I enjoy these people here who come out and watch. So I'll probably continue to play the tennis.
A lot of people said you might be retiring. Jimmy, I know you've got a young son who's running around. I hear you're having trouble keeping up with him, but has that part of your life changed your career at all?
I don't think it's changed my tennis at all. I think it's changed my away from the court and away from the tennis immensely. I do enjoy fooling around with my family and running around after my son, but it was an adjustment period to separate, to play tennis and worry only about the tennis, and then when I was with my family to worry only about my family. So once I had that a little bit in order, then things started clicking a little bit better. But whoever thinks I'm going to retire right now, I'm playing the best tennis I've played in a long time, so I'm too young for that. But no, it's once again, Barry, it's a pleasure to play up here for you. You do a hell of a job, heck of a job, and you understand probably as much or more than anybody what the players need and what it takes for them to play great tennis, and you go about it in a terrific way, and I'd like to thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Jimmy Connors. Let's hear it for Jimmy. I'm really glad he was here. Back to you, Al Troutway.
Well, thank you, Barry McKay. To appreciate your efforts very much, and we do too. So it is John McEnroe winning here at the Transamerica Open for the third time, and relatively easily over the #1 player in the world, Jimmy Connors, 6-1, 6-3. Coming up on USA, doubles. Fritz Buning and Brian Teacher take on Davis and Dunk as we continue our coverage of the 1982 Transamerica Open.